Hey everybody, this is a pick 2 draft from Through the Omenpaths, or the Spider-Man set if you are playing in paper. This is my first experience with this set. I have played one of the pick 2 drafts that were in Midweek Magic a few weeks ago, but I am totally new to the format, relatively new to pick 2 drafts. We're going to go ahead, jump in, we're going to play, and then we'll have some thoughts at the end of the video. First, we're just going to get some reps in and see how it goes. We're going to ready up. This is a table of 4, and we will be picking 2. This is a time draft, so we will have to go relatively quickly. This is Wrench, 5 mana, 2/3. When it enters, look at the top 9 cards of your opponent's library. Exile 2 of them, put the rest on the bottom. You may play those cards. That seems like something we would want to take. When this creature dies, it's a 2/2 that makes something else. This is Flash with Connive. I like that. Blue-black is a good color combination. I think maybe I just take the 2 black cards here. Just to cut black. Our opponent, our next person in line will end up seeing no black cards at all. We do like to have the removal. I would like to be in blue, but I do think we'll just go ahead and take this 2/2 that makes a treasure when it dies. We'll go ahead and confirm our picks and lock it in. So we have a lifelink 2/1 with a little bit of an ability and a flying flash. The flying flash creature doesn't specifically jump out at me, but we will be probably taking this lifelink. 2/3 that has a little bit of upside. I think here we take this white card because I think it's significantly better than just the flying flash. Now, if Mayhem becomes a big thing, that may be wrong. I don't feel like we'll be holding up double blue with our creatures so far. Looks like we'll be playing kind of a on-the-board deck. We'll see how this works out. 5 mana 4/4. When this enters, exile up to 1 target permanent and 1 target non-land from a graveyard. When it dies, put them on the bottom. Yep, that's enough. Timer goes fast in these drafts, so we'll have to kind of keep that in mind. Here's a blue-black flying, lifelink, and vigilance 3/1. I like all of this. We'll go ahead and grab that and look to read it on the way. Yeah, this is a quick format here. Another when this attacks mill a card. We are going to be taking the black cards here and look to play either blue-black or white-black. This looks like a good card. You know what? Let's grab that legendary creature there. Okay, instant choose 1. No, I'll take this. Doesn't look like something we'll be playing. Yeah, we'll take the land just in case. Fast format going through here. Hard to keep up with all the cards. And here we go. We are looking for premium removal. This is card draw, which is really nice. This is removal, but not premium removal. This is a bounce and some non-premium removal, but I think that's good enough here. Lifelink, yep. This is a really powerful card. Vigilance, okay. This could be splashable. We'll go ahead and take it. I wish for the new set that we would have some either extended timers or let's see, when are we going? Right now, when it enters, target creature connives. Yeah, I don't think the defensive speed of an 0-3 is worth not being able to attack at all. We do have a decent number of 2-drops here, so I'm not overly worried. I assume that we are now just straight in blue-black. Yeah, we'll do this in case we are playing just blue. This is a nice card draw. Yep. Removal, card draw, that's what we're looking for here. Flying. That touch not as much. That touch, I guess. That touch is never bad, so yeah, we're doing good here on playables. Whenever you draw first or second card each turn, put a counter, cast an artifact from your hand equal to the number, without playing the mana spell. Yep. Unless you have dedicated artifacts, I don't think it's that great. Snatchback looks like a decent card. Discard a card, target creature gets +1. Activate as a sorcery. I think the 3 and the 4, the 4 and the 5 drop spot are probably taken. And I like these 2 picks here. Turn card from the graveyard to the battlefield, not the effect I would really like. Okay, again, artifacts there. I'll take the flyer for sure. And I will take this removal spell. Flyer, removal spell, a couple of 2-drops and a 3-drop with Death Touch to gum up the ground and fly over the top. That's should be good enough for a couple of wins. Target creature gets -3/-3. All creatures get -2/-2 if Mayhem was cast. Trigger this only once per turn. Yeah, we'll take this, and yeah, the flying has got to be better than the 2/1 lifelink. It connives. Yep, a 2/3 on the ground that connives. Target player draws a card, then up to one player you control connives. Yeah, it's good. It's filler level. A lot of 2-drops already. Should have taken something there. We'll go ahead and pick this up. We were looking to see if we got any blue-white lands in these packs, but it does not look like we will. Here's a mana rock, but not sure if we're going to be putting that in the deck. Okay, fast draft. If you're here for speed, if you think that the quick draft or the premium draft format took too long, this is definitely a format you want to check out. Now we have to decide what we have. Carriage of Dreams does not seem like we're going to be doing it. The only card I would really assume we would be splashing for, this is a powerful 4/4 Vigilance. When it enters, put a +1 on another target creature or itself. Whenever a modified creature you control deals damage, you draw a card. So you play this down, it puts a +1/+1 counter on a flyer, and then the flyer hits them and draws a card. I like it quite a bit. Not sure if it's going to make the deck. When this enters, exile a non-land permanent and up to one target non-land permanent from a graveyard. When it dies, put him on the bottom of the owner's library. If you do, return those exile cards to the owner's hands. Okay? I think it temporarily gets something out of the way. Okay, 6 mana, 4/4. This is not a flyer. You may look at the top card. You may cast spider spells and non-creatures from the top. Whenever you attack, you mill a card, and therefore you get a new top of the deck. Okay, I think that one is going to be out. I think this one is going to be out. And let's see what we have. Let's look at cards that we could cut. So we have 2 cards if we decide not to do any white splash. Okay, we are looking for ways of pushing through damage, so something like flyers would be prioritized. Return target creature from the graveyard with an additional +1/+1 counter. And it has Mayhem. This is not the type of effect I usually like to play, especially if I don't know what we're going to have going on. This is a 5 mana 4/5. If you have 8 or more cards in your graveyard, it comes in as an 8/8. And if you have another villain, it has hexproof either way. I do like that. So we'll go ahead and we'll hide this card for now. Flying, Lifelink, and Vigilance. Okay, Vigilance is a little less important if it has 1 toughness, but it's something. Blue and a black, exile cards from your graveyard, look at the top 3 cards, or exile this card from the graveyard, put 1 of them in your hand and the rest on the bottom. That's a great card. And Death Touch, and it can connive, discard a card, and we have 3 of these. These are legendary, so 3 may not be the right answer. This is a 4 mana 3/3 flyer. Exile this card from your graveyard. Put a +1/+1 on another creature, and it gets flying until end of turn. I do like running them. That will be a good card to have. This is a Mana War. Okay, 2/1 flash that connives. I don't think that it is a villain. If that matters. 2/3 Death Touch. I like that. Draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. Yeah, I like that. Flash, Flying, Mayhem. Well, I'll take the flying there over the conniving. This is only important if we are going to splash the white. And as of now, let's look at it without splashing the white. Right, we're getting much, much closer. So this is bad removal. Bounce. Whenever a villain you control, put a +1/+1 counter. I have a lot of villains. Right? Quite a few villains. So I'm going to try and have that stay in. Here's a villain. Whenever you cast a blue spell, if it's a creature, he gets +1 until the end of the turn. At the beginning of your end step, untap him. Until the next turn, he becomes a land. Okay, so it's blue. Whenever you cast a blue spell, it becomes a creature. Whenever you cast a blue spell, if it's a creature, he gets +1/+1 until the end of the turn. Okay. At the beginning of your end step, he always untaps and turns into a land. Yeah, I don't know, and I don't like it. These cards have been around. This 2 mana, 2/1 lifelink, and then it deals damage later on in the game. It's good early. It's good late. It's not efficient late, but it is good late. And some removal. We can probably get rid of 1 of these removal spells. This is lifelink with X number of counters. When he enters, he deals X damage to target opponent. Yep, flexible. I think he's flexible enough. I don't think we have to do this double blue thing. I'm worried about it, and I don't enjoy worrying about it. This costs 2 less if you have a villain, and we have a lot of villains. In fact, we have almost all villains other than this Mana War, which will go ahead and give us enough value anyway. Do we have enough card draw? This is going to be a tougher one. We have 2 more cuts here. Looking at the curve would suggest that we need to cut one of these higher priced creatures. Here's a hero, so it's not part of a villain plan. This is a 4/4 menace. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, put a +1/+1 counter on it, then surveil the number of counters on it. Yeah, I like that card. I'd be willing to cut that. Damning Caress, having 3 of them might not be the right number. Maybe it's only 2, but I do like having enough. You know, I don't know the set. I could actually cut one of these -3/-3s because I don't know how fast. Yep, I have 1, 2, 5 total removal spells with 2 bounce effects. We're going to go with this and see how it goes. This is a compressed format, right? So in like a quick draft, you would go to 7 wins or 3 losses. This is a total of 4 wins or 2 losses, and so it does go pretty quick. Getting to your second win is very important. So this is 50 gems, 150, then 800. So the jump between 1 and 2 seems really, really steep. We'll see how that works out, but I think this is too steep, right? This could be like, the total number of gems could stay the same, but they could just even it out a little bit more, and I think that would feel a little bit better to most players. And I think most players want this 3rd loss. So whatever that means for the prize pool to just stretch it out a little bit more, I think more players would be happy. But we're going to jump in and see how this deck works. Also, we're going to be paying a lot of attention to our opponents' decks, right? And see like what our opponents are also drafting and how they're putting together their decks so that we have an idea. This is not just do one draft and only try to glean some information about blue-black. Otherwise, you would end up having to do like 15 or 20 drafts before you really understood the format. So we want to make sure that, yeah, kind of a little anti-synergy here with the villain into the hero. But we will go ahead and keep hoping to... We do have 9 swamps in the deck. So on the draw, we will definitely keep. And on time, we do get a swamp here. So we will play this that grows with the villains and be ready to ramp them. Oh, they're not even going to give us a chance. Okay. Well, we have 3, 4, and 5 ready to go, and then we'll look at something else after that. Oh, this is just a 2/2 with no effects. And an early concession. Okay. I think you will get some early concessions right now in the format, especially if the timers are that strict for the drafting portion. I do think that there are going to be some percentage of players that are just kind of skilled out of this format by the aggressive timers. Please leave a comment below if you think that the timers are as aggressive as I do. This is all removal. We have nothing proactive here. We will keep it because, I don't know, I don't like the throwback hands that just function but aren't proactive. We'll find some creatures, and if we use early removal on some of their creatures, that's fine. This one here, right, if you kill it before a creature enters the battlefield, they get no +1/+1 counter. This is instant speed, so I can wait for them to play something, thinking that it will be there, but we're not going to let it if we can help it. Now, if they do have a flash creature, then this was a mistake, right? But this will connive, which is whenever another villain enters, this will connive. So I'm ready to go next turn. Connive is look at the top card of your graveyard. No, I'm sorry, draw a card and then discard a card. If you discard a non-land, you get a +1/+1 counter. So this will have Defender. Okay. 3/3 with Death Touch. We do have our removal suite online. If we draw a creature, we can. If we draw a land, we can play Caress and a creature. If not, it would have to be yeah. So I think that's what we do. We just go ahead and kill this. Get an attack in. And then we get to connive, right? Yeah. So we'll connive this one. And Mana War seems pretty good. If he plays one big blocker, we get it out of the way. Damning Caress keeps the connive train going. But just being able to put something back in his hand would be pretty good too. So here, like, do we kill or do we just put it back in? Do we care about the connive that much? We're going to attack for 6. Probably, right? Now, yeah, too late in the game for that one to really grow. This is 7 damage coming at someone, and he'd have to have 2 blockers. No, he's just going to kill one, okay? I don't think we put this out without some kind of value. He's going to have to play a blocker soon. Okay. This may be a small blocker. You know what? Why don't we put Carlo back in our hand? I mean, we probably missed that. We should have done that last turn. Okay. I'm not happy with myself. This is a play we should have thought about earlier. He's going to crack the food. We put Carlo back in our hand, and we can play it. And now he's facing down a much tougher board. He's got 6 mana, 7 mana, but we're going to have 1 kill spell. So he puts in 2 blockers. We get rid of one of them. Let's see how this works for him. Okay. Double strike, and it can't be blocked. Yep, and just put something back in his hand, right? Like, do we really want to even use this removal spell? I guess we do. We kill the double blocker and we attack with everything. And then we connive. We connive on the menace creature. And let's see. Looking like he has some kind of instant in his hand. If this is a pump spell here, he's going to regret this snatchback. And then it canals. Yep. Okay. So okay, nothing happened there. Okay, now, do we want a snatchback, or do we want a 2/3 that looks at 9 cards, puts 2 of them face down, and then the rest on the bottom? This is a tougher choice. Snatchback has to be so tough. Sorry. I wanted to keep that, but I would assume he's only going to get 1 blocker here. Okay, he's going to kill something. Unless I just put it back in my hand. And kick. Save my card. Draw another card. Yeah, and that's going to do it. Okay. Well, lucky enough, that is the 2 wins to make sure that you are getting that higher prize pool amount. Good there, but we'll keep on going. So far, the decks have felt about as powerful as a regular draft. I don't think they've felt more or less powerful so far. But again, we've only played 2 games, so we'll have to see we'll have some initial impressions by the end of this video, and then as we play the format more, we will get more into it. Okay, on the draw, I think this is okay. A little bit slow. We'll see how fast the red decks are. I see haste coming out right away, so maybe this is a mistake, but we will not know until we go through it. And we'll pass back to our opponent. Let's see what he's got to follow up. If it's another creature with haste, we could be in some trouble. A 2/3 usually stops most of the aggression, even if they have a pump spell, unless it's first strike. The death touch here will shut off quite a few attackers, and then you also have the bigger toughness of a 3/4 coming after, but we'll have to see. Yep, menace. Okay. Yeah, no way to make this happen very quickly. If I go Death Toucher and they have a -3/-3 and instantly kill it, we are going to be at 10 life very quickly, but hopefully that's not what's going to happen. Our opponent untaps at least, so if that happens now, they won't be adding much to the board. They may have some mayhem stuff. Okay, discard a card and create a treasure. Yep. Okay, so we are limited what we could do. We could kill the 5/4. This can keep attacking. We can let him discard a card. No, but you know what? I don't want too much of this mayhem stuff going on. I think that could hurt us. Let's do this really quickly, and we will not be blocking, so we might as well attack there. More options at 4 than we do at 3, and so we do need to get a land here. Okay. So, at the beginning of first main, you may discard a card. If you do, target creature can't block. Whenever an opponent creature dies, this deals 1 damage there. So, we could do the Caress again. We could put out a big creature and hope that either one would trade for this guy. So that would stop a blocker, even though we're not going to be able to block him. Let's put out the creature. He doesn't seem to have too much removal yet. So let's see what we can do. Lifelink guy. If we draw another land, we go lifelink and have the ability to kill a creature. That would be the best case scenario. If we don't, we could discard, so we could play this with a discount and then be ready to kill something. He's looking at both of the creatures, maybe to look at see which one he can stop from blocking. It's not going to matter for the menace, because as soon as you stop one of them from blocking, all of them will be stopped. Yep. Yep. Okay. So, we did not draw that land. And we don't have a way to discard anything. We could run back the same play. I know this gains through life, and I do wanna make that happen sometime. But I don't know if it's going to be right now. I want to wait another turn. Maybe this works, maybe this doesn't. He's going to put a creature back on to the battlefield, which I'm not really happy about. But he's only going to be able to attack with one. We are certainly behind in this game. If we attack with both, we have to block here so that he doesn't do this every turn, and then look to caress this. Yeah. This makes sense. There's an additional +1/+1 counter, so whatever is coming here is not going to be blocked by, like, the enforcers. Too much on the battlefield here. Fine, lifelink. This can block something, but we destroy this, and he can't attack with everything. That's really the only. That's the only play here. He can discard a card. He can discard whatever this card is to make one of them not block. But he can't attack with everything. Yeah, we need another land. We need to be able to put out 2 blockers at a time. Yeah, so he makes the Death Touch not be able to block. He attacks with everything. Are we forced into this block? Yeah. Yeah, we're forced into a chump block. If we block any other way, he digs 6. Yeah. Yeah, this way we take 4 and up against 3 attackers does not look good for us. And never mind. That 1 damage hits us. Okay. Makes sense. It does feel the 2 losses is pretty punishing. It does feel like we're almost done already, although we do have up to 3 more games, right? Or we have one, I guess we have up to 2 more games. I'll be right back for those. And we're jumping right into game 4. Let's see what we have in store. So far we've seen a little bit of aggro, and that was able to get our 3 and 4 drop heavy deck, so maybe that is something. Here is something that we will probably have to mulligan. If we had 1 or 2 things that we could play with blue, we would go ahead and do it, but I don't think so. So here's a bunch of different villains. A little bit on the expensive side, but I think we'll go ahead and keep. There's nothing that specifically puts things in the graveyard, so I think Ozar, it has to go. But this will be a keep, and we'll go ahead and put Ozar on the bottom. We could theoretically try and put a land on the bottom and see if we get a little bit lucky, but we already are mulliganing down to a card, so I don't really love that plan. Okay, once a turn. I assume he's got quite a few spiders, so this may be a really good value card. Yeah. I think this is something that's worth destroying now before it gets out of control. We can attack since we won't be blocking. And this will have it flying now. Okay. Makes sense. We will neither of these trade or do anything profitable. We don't have a lot to do there. I guess for mana's sake, we played this one first, and it does have flash, so we can. Like, would we double block? This will be a 2/2 and a 2/2 against a 3/3. Probably not, right? Especially if they have mana up. We'll leave open the possibility, but he could put a +1/+1 counter. He would have to completely tap out to even consider it. I don't think that's what he's going to do. Okay. Somebody's going to gain life, but he's going to have 3 mana, so again, he's going to have to play 4 mana now. Target interferes with. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. If we do this, we may be losing. But when else are we going to get this off the board? If he has the bounce spell or something, this is going to be really bad for us. Well, I guess not. I guess the first +1/+1 counter, bounce spell would be really bad for us. A +1/+1 counter just 2-for-1s us. Yep. We can surveil if we attack. But we can't really attack. We're not going to have a good block next turn anyway. Yeah, this game is just not going in our favor. Looks like we're going to get run over here. Yep, that is not good. Yep. This deck has to be constructed in such a way with all the +1/+1 counters and the modified things. This we did not have a chance to think about in our draft pod, right? Again, that's not saying that it's not possible for anyone, but we could not have done this fast enough to be able to make a deck like this. And that will just go down as skill error on our part. Hopefully they adjust the timing on those draft timers, because I think there's quite a few people that will have the same issues. I think we're just done here. I can't see any way of realistically coming back. He attacks with every... Yeah, that's okay. It's nice to know that this modified deck is truly a thing. It's it goes really fast. Okay. So that is 2-2 in the pick 2 draft. And you know, I said we would talk about some initial thoughts. I think I've made myself clear through this video some of the thoughts already. Would I like a third loss here? Would I like this stretched out? Yeah, 100%. I don't feel like I'm finished with this draft deck, especially with best of 1 games. Maybe if this was a best of 3 format and I had played more games, even though I went 2-2, even though, you know, my match record would be the same, I would feel like I got my money's worth out of that draft deck, and I don't. I feel like I want to keep playing it. I thought the deck was pretty good. I thought the deck could have a winning record, and again, you know, if that was 3-2, anything could have happened in those games. You know, any one decision would have pushed that one way or the other. I just don't feel done with this draft. And here we are claiming the prizes, which I'm glad I got to the second win for sure. But I just don't feel done with it. So please let me know in the comments below if this is your experience. This is not a format that I hate and that I will never do again. I feel if this was a format that I really knew all the cards, a format that I really liked, great. I think this is a good option to have, and if this sits alongside Premier Draft, Pick 2 Draft, and Quick Draft, and now you have the option of drafting 3 different formats on any given day on Arena, all of a sudden I'm really happy because now I have format choices, right? Something like Magic Foundations that I just absolutely love, and all the cards are on the top of my head, and I just don't really have to be reading all the cards. I think that I would feel a lot different for, although I think I would still have the same kind of thing of, hey, I only played 4 games, where's the rest of this draft deck going? On a quick draft, if you play 4 games and you go 1-3, by that time you kind of don't like the deck anymore, and so you don't really want to play it. Maybe you saw more potential in it. Maybe you had 1 or 2 bad losses that you couldn't really explain, and you were thinking like, oh, I wonder what would happen if I played 10 games with this deck. But usually if you're going 1-3, okay, you chalk that up as a loss, and you're just not looking to play anymore here. Here, I'm still unsatisfied. So I'll leave it there for now, and I will play a few more before I have any kind of final thoughts. Doesn't seem like the perfect draft for me, but I would love to see it in a different format and see how that goes. Till next time, I'll see you guys later, and have a great day. Bye, everyone.